Okay, you and Jibbatung actually aren't walking on the main path as you guys are stealthing through the bushes. He seems very quiet, and he's got that hunter's step where he just seems to like walk and not move down, especially through the dense foliage and debris. Because
Oh.
he does, however, stop and pause and look forward. Says, "That's not right." Points to the felled tree just down the path. But yeah, no. He says that's not right. That wasn't like that yesterday.
Well, that's good. Your knowledge of the forest has come in handy, Jibbatung. Why don't we really quietly just take a little bit of a closer look? We'll go fast to the next bush over here.
Okay. They jump forward.
Can I roll perception or anything that would help me to take a look around and see if there might be anyone around or anything else that may be off?
Yeah, that'd totally be perception. Go for it, man. 16. On 16, Jibatung says, I'll check the tracks. And he steps forward and goes to step out of the bush. You pull him back in as you hear the faint rattling of chainmail, and you see a bandit bearing the same banner down his back as the last group faced. Doesn't seem to see you guys as it slowly moves forward.
He appears to be alone. I whisper really quietly to Jibbatung. But just in case, let's just wait a moment.
He nods for an arrow of silence. Steps forward, puts his boot on this felled tree, clucks his tongue, and looks around. Would you like to do anything while this is happening?
Well, he's still completely alone and just putting his boot on the log. He's pretty close. He might be a spy, so I kind of Jibbatung, sort of like a signal for him to go right around the tree, and I'm going to go left around the tree.
He nods. After you. Boom. You both make cover. He does turn around, raises his head up, and looks around the rust.
I freeze.
Shrugs. Stretches upwards and yawns.
I'm going to take this opportunity to do a leap, and I'm going to pull out Ninjatu, and I'm going to take one swift stab into the back.
You're going to try and get the whole big one. All right. Let's get an attack roll here, please.
Absolutely.
A sneak attack, PS.
Oh, yes.
And I believe you have advantage, too, as you are hidden.
I have sneak attack on. How do you turn on advantage?
It should be a toggle at the very top of your sheet in red. If you're a quick note, if you're trying to kill this guy, swing away. If you're not trying to kill this guy and you want to knock him out or something, whenever you're trying to do something like that, not to influence you either way, but we've never come across a situation which you might ever want to. You basically just have to declare non-lethal damage before you deal your damage. So you just, hey, I'm hitting him with the flat side of my sword, or I'm conking him with the hilt.
I think that might be a smart idea, actually. Let's try and knock him out.
I mean, 21 is in fact a hit, and you say non-lethal damage like you did. That's a sick hit. You need to hit that ninjato to deal with it in the chat.
Perfect.
To do only one on the sneak attack dice. That seems like a rip. Oh, you should have another sneak. Foe.
Uh-oh.
Yep, you leap forward with a surprising like, and he gives it a start. And as you do with your sword still in the scabbard, you reach down the huge thing and with a mighty whack, you hit him right between his wide-set froge eyes, and he drops like a sack of potatoes.
Yes.
Jibbatung comes running out of the bush and says, "Did you kill him?"
No. Not everything is a hunt, Jibbatung. Some things are a little more tactful. We should bring him back to, the gang and see if they can get something out of him. He might have some info on where they're attacking, which could be handy. But let's not forget what we came for. If we look along this path, I see that maybe with this tree knocked down, we should definitely tell them about that, but it does give us kind of an advantage where we could kind of sway the armies down to the left, down to the so let's make sure to tell them about that. Now you grab the legs, I'll grab The head.
He nods. The stuff like just cut off by the scene would be like more thick wood. So this is kind of like the main path through the thing, which is why we were creeping along just in the brush, right? To try and scout it out. So this is good information. I just wanted to be clear, like, hey, it's not this sparse for the rest of it, right? It gets thicker.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe your sneak attacks will actually work then. Oh!
Oh!
This one worked.
They just did.
Just barely worked.
They just did.
Jibbatung
Let
will
me
tell of
hold my
my glory.
Yeah. He's on it.
I was like, how are you going to teach the tadpole to sneak if you can't sneak attack someone?
My goal is for the students to surpass the teacher. So I like to set the bar a little lower for them. So
It appears they will quite quickly.
Well, the Jibbatung guy seems pretty impressed with you. He seems like just blown away that you knocked him out with one blow from out of nowhere.
I kind of give him a nod.
You have to teach me to do that.
Oh, I'm sure we will. We'll have many lessons, pretty much whether you like them or not.
He nods again. Oh my god. Well. Well played. Nobu and Noshi, on your guys' scouting foray into the forest, you guys wouldn't get quite as far. You would see that it is, for the most part, similar, one narrow forest path through densely wooded. There is a raised cliff area here that's just up about 10 to 15 feet. And it does run for a little while before it kind of slopes downward and meets the path just before we saw the tree. That's probably about what you guys would see. It's mostly the singular path. There is like room to move through some of the trees around the path for sure, but if they were on foot, they could move through the forest proper. If any of them are mounted or larger beings, then they probably would have a harder time getting through the thickest chunks of the forest and the swamp.
So we would want to set it up to force them off their mounts and make them walk through the trees.
Doesn't sound like a bad idea. We need to make sure that they can't just walk through the entirety of the forest, though. If they can flank us, they can beat us.
This is where we would use the trees and the natural pits to kind of guide them.
Wait, but like, wouldn't we not have this information yet? Like, are we waiting for Tongueke to come back and give us this information?
This was like kind of their brief. They just like walked into the edge of the forest and come a bit. And I think at about this time, as they come back and begin discussing this, Tongueke and Jibbatung arrive with a bandit. So one carrying the arms, the other carrying the legs.
Ooh. All right. I notion over to Noshitoada and Nobufroga, who I see right away. Flyjimoto, I take is still partying. And I just kind of call to them and go, help me out with this guy. And I bring the bandit over to them.
I see the black void of space.
Refresh. So Tongueke returns with this bandit. The third or fourth time.
Help, Mary! I've got a bandit.
I'm helping the frog man.
Let's get him into Krokun and Frogatushi's hut here, somewhere private where we can have a discussion with him.
And then I shout from my party horde, "Who is that? Who's that, guys? Just let me get in here real quick."
I notion for Jibbatung to stay outside. I go, yeah, you're too young for this part yet, but keep watch, because I think you're going to be a handy ally.
Oh, you got someone to join your frog cult.
My loyalist one follower. And it's not a cult. I call them the ninja disciples.
The ninja disciples? That sounds like a cult.
It is an organization of which we have certain beliefs and followings of sneakiness, and sometimes we light candles.
Well, you gotta be able to see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sold. You just sold yourself a timeshare.
Is it like a pyramid structure? If
I
they sell their
prefer-
timeshares to
It's a
sneaking in?
multi-level marketing ninja scheme
It's a-
is what we prefer it to.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Well,
Well,
I
yeah.
love your side hustle.
You guys
How many ninjas do I need to recruit in order to advance to a management ninja position?
It depends more on how many they recruit, and then you can join.
Oh, okay.
all about your downs.
We call them parties.
This took a detour, didn't it?
It's okay. We took the man
Back
into
in
the
character. Back
household,
in character.
and you guys tie him to a chair. What would you like to
Could we use the frog that he has captured as a sort of bonuses to our rolls for setting up the map for the morning? Seeing it like to say that we are pulling information from him?
Yeah, so what we can do before the night ends is try to interrogate the guy.
Well,
It's
because I'm drunk and I jumped in there at the first sign of commotion and this guy is still unconscious, I'm going to be the one that goes up and smacks him in the face a couple times to wake him up. Like, hey you!
yeah,
Who are
I think
you?
I think you do. You totally slap him a couple times, kind of drunkenly, and you're not the strongest member of the party, so they
No.
don't really hurt him, but they whap him a couple times and wake him up. Where am I?
Where are you? Who are you?
My name, Hanzo.
Did you say Hanzo, guys? Do we know a Hanzo?
All right. Flyjimoto, maybe take a step back a moment. I think
Okay, I'm
Nobufroga,
gonna sit down. I'll sit down.
but good work with the slapping. That's very good. I'm gonna hold up my soggy. It's rotting a little bit. My soggy head, and just kind of look over to Nobufroga and noshitoadi, and go, "Hey, once you guys are done with this fella, I just want to add him to my collection. So don't do anything to his face, but the rest is fair game." And I just kind of sit at the back, making strong eye contact.
Out
I
of
thought I told
character?
you to get rid of that before it started to stink.
Yeah, out of character. Why is it soggy?
He tried to wash it.
That's our head deck.
Remember when he tried to turn it into a hand puppet?
Yeah.
Oh, super unfortunate.
So, roll an intimidation check there. Okay.
Will do.
Nobu is just going to sit on the side. He is not going to be part of torture because that is not his thing. There's a difference between torture and information gathering, but he'll make sure that no one kills themselves or the other during this whole time.
He just groans. Oh God, please don't kill me, please. I knew him. Oh, he was. Oh, jeez, Kurogatu. That's his buddy, Kurose. I can't believe you guys killed him. He just starts crying. He rolled a 4. That.
The guy's crying. You killed his buddy and shook his head in his face, Jordan. God.
I mean,
I'll
if
tell
he
you
doesn't tell
everything.
us,
I'll tell you everything. What do you want to know? Just keep him away from me.
Oh wow, the power of the head.
I told you this would come in handy. I'm gonna get a bunch of these. Well, I just kind of mumble from the back. Well, I mean, it'd be handy if you told us what the necromancer is planning for his attack, and maybe just where he's heading, and where all your buddies are, and just the gist like that.
Just little details. Just get a pen
They're
and
at-
paper.
They're at the camp. It's about 2 days away. Or they're probably going to pack up and start leaving once they hear about Noshitoadi getting. That's overwhelming force. He'll come with everything he's got.
And how many is that?
How many of what? There's
Everything.
nods. If you felled Noshitoadi and his squad, and you got most of the actual men, there's only 6 of us left, probably 7. I guess 8 with the captain. The rest are the undead, including his prized possession. Horrible, undead, giant thing. I don't know where he got it, where he brought it back. He uses it to threaten all sorts of people. The last village that fought back destroyed their buildings with it, took out the whole village.
Well, that sobers me up a little. I just kind of stare at him like open mouth, like a big undead thing.
Like a crystal or a staff, or what is it?
It's not quite as big as a giant. What are they called? They got the big, heavy guts and the wide shoulders and huge, powerful limbs. Okay, Noshi, I think you would maybe recognize this as a hill giant, but it doesn't sound big enough. So maybe like a smaller version?
So you think it's a troll or an ogre?
Apparently, yes. I'm not used to getting high rolls, so when he was talking, I thought he wasn't talking to me.
That's fair. Sorry, my dude.
I'm kind of shivering a bit. I've taken on guys our size, but I've never taken on a troll or an ogre before.
It doesn't matter your size. It matters only the size of your imagination.
Well, my imagination is huge right now, so I'm pissing myself.
I think that's just because you're drunk.
Yes, it is.
Smell the heat from here.
I'll get some paper towels.
What else do you need to know? The bandit guy says.
What way do they plan to come tomorrow?
Both, if he has enough men for it.
How many men are we talking? You said there was 30, but the rest were undead. How many undead are you talking about?
About 24, 25, give or take.
Boys, we cannot handle that many.
Maybe Jibbatung has some friends.
Maybe you need to get your tadpole school going a little faster.
All right, I'm on it. I head out of a nervous frenzy.
Is there anywhere where we can keep this guy locked up safely for the night?
Frogatushi, kind of just standing outside the door, pokes his head in. He says, "Yes, the granary locks, and it's currently empty.
As long as the man can breathe and not be crushed by machinery and is safe, we shall lock him there for the night so he does not run back and tell his friends."
He nods. It will be done. We're gonna call this evening in Toadigawa an end as we continue planning and get maybe fistful parts of rest during the night. The next morning, then move us back to the morning time.
So as a learning moment here,
Yes.
can I use this as an opportunity to change what spells I have prepared?
Yes, you can. This is what we're gonna have. We're gonna have enough time for technically a long rest, so you can in fact change whatever spells you have prepared.
Okay. Second question.
Yes.
When it says concentration, it just means that I can't have 2 concentration abilities up, or does it mean that I can't do anything but concentrate on this spell?
So the first one, and if you take damage while you have a concentrate spell up, you have to make a Constitution save to keep the spell up.
Right on. So it's like largely a limiting factor to how many of them I can have, so I can't have multiples up.
It's stuff with continuous effects, right?
Yeah, and it gives the game a chance to interact with what I've got, or me a chance to interact with what the game's got.
Exactly, and vice versa. The next morning, I assume you guys probably wake up pretty early. I know Nobufroga definitely would. We're going to have a chance today with our plans to make some preparations. So this is what we're going to call a group skill challenge to introduce our new players to it. Will might run group skill challenges differently on his players. Lots of DM are on his table, excuse me. Lots of DMs do. Generally what they mean is we're going to pick just like kind of mini versions of what Tongueke and Jibbatung did in the forest. There's going to be a series of skills and tasks that we can perform that we want to get done, and we can make rolls to try and do those to the best of our abilities. And we can assign ourselves to whatever roles, but each player can only roll once.
Mm-hmm.
So
I am desperately pretending I'm not hungover this morning.
you're actually pretty okay on your
I'm
21.
okay now? Okay. Oh yeah, because I'm a young guy. I can handle my liquor in the morning.
Yeah, and I feel like you're probably a bit of a drinker. Maybe not like an alcoholic.
I definitely love when people praise me. Yes, like I've earned this level of praise. I'm a goddamn wizard.
Yeah. So our plans are just to summarize, just so I can clarify what you guys are planning. Nobu is suggesting that we limit the paths through the forest to force them down one path so that we can control where they come to the village through the forest path.
Well, I could lead the
Correct?
cutoff.
Sorry, I'm just asking. That's correct. That's the plan, right?
Yeah, well, now we know that undead's in the mix, so that kind of changes it just a little. So yeah, like, we'll make a funnel in the forest using the forest as a weapon, and we try our best to block the other passage that's wide open, so that either they're going to spend more time kind of removing it, or they'll have to go back around, and by then we'll have like a buffer.
Sorry, Flyji, you were about to say?
Well, I can be the head of the forest buffer because I can stand back from a safe distance and use my magic to hurt them, therefore directing them where we want them to go. Because if flames just start shooting from the trees at them, they're going to want to try and avoid that.
Gotta be like the Ewoks on Endor.
First of all, yeah.
I love you, Lux.
If we can attach some tree stumps to some trees and hit that giant skelly troll, we're there.
Right? Who wants to come
okay.
with me? And I'll use my magic and they can Ewok the situation. I need a wicket. Who's going to be my wicket?
Something about Ewoks, they're pretty small, so if I can get this multi-level marketing ninja program going, they might be handy.
So what I'm sensing here is our checks are going to be athletics, which is going to be like digging, chopping. Rest assured that several of the villagers are very adept at those tasks.
Oh, yes, they
and
will
will
help.
be assisting you guys with those basic stuff. There is so that's athletics. There is most definitely going to be a I think maybe just charisma.
You want me to charisma this?
No, it might be. Sorry, I'm trying to think about Tongueke trying to train these people because it seems like something he's determined to do, and I think that deserves its own role. I'm thinking maybe a intelligence and charisma check. So mixed roll for so training, digging, chopping, trap creation, which would be either sleight of hand or intelligence, and scouting, which would be perception or stealth or both, depending on your move.
Well, I have
There's-
strong athletics, so I think I'm going to stick with athletics.
If you guys can think of something else that really applies, like a use of a skill that would really apply to what we're trying to achieve, please pipe up. But that seems like what we're going for. So Will's choosing athletics, I believe, Nobu, right?
Okay. What are we choosing from again?
Digging, chopping, which is going to be athletics. Training, which would be like intelligence or charisma. Trap creation, which would be sleight of hand or intelligence. Probably like sleight of hand or history, probably. And preparation, lifting and stuff.
I can do
yeah.
preparation.
So, well, the preparation would be... Oh, no, scouting is perception. Yeah. Scouting would be perception. So to keep an eye out for their forces incoming.
Persuasion or investigation?
So you can probably persuade to try and train people. And investigation, probably not. But you could definitely persuade to try and train people.
Okay, I'm going to try and persuade more people to your group there of ninjas.
I would ask Jibbatung. He seemed to have a passion, and I think he could actually persuade quite a few people as well.
Okay, well, I have a 5-check persuasion, so...
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely go talk to Jibbatung with those checks. What about noshitoadi? What would you be doing here?
That's a good question. I definitely wouldn't be chopping anything because I'm an old man.
That's fair.
And I deserve the respect of the young. They should be doing the hard work for me.
Mm-hmm. I suppose I just thought of one that might apply more to you, dude, which would be like either an arcana or a medicine type of check to try and like prep like medical supplies for the upcoming fight. Anything like that you guys can think of, right? I will accept. Just these were the ones that I was like, clearly this is what I made notes of during the session that you guys were trying to do.
Okay, well, I'm a young gun, so I'd be helping them set up traps.
and hard labor work.
I think you by choosing persuasion, see that Jibbatong has gathered a couple of the other younger men in the village, and go to Tongueke. And Tongueke, albeit very sneaky and ambitious, might not be as good of a talker.
What?
And I think
You do crouch and hide in bushes quite a bit.
I think Flyjimoto would probably step up. So that's by choosing persuasion. I think you're choosing to train the townsfolk. Is what that means. You can change your choice, but I saw. I was like, you did make your roll. Like, I'll allow you to change, but yeah. That's true. Technically, it is our first time, and I'm being very lenient on metas. So, noshitoadi can give bless spells.
Can I throw insight to guide placement of walls and traps?
Yeah, I think that would be fun.
Okay, let's do that.
100%. Oh, that's a really good roll, dude. Jeez, 22. My dude. What about Tongueke? Keep in mind, you guys can both try and train the villagers. In fact, how this works is the more people that's on it, the higher the difficulty, but the better the reward, because I combine your two totals. So, technically, you would train them more by doubling up, right? But you may also neglect another area, right? So
I may be no good words, but I can train I let my training do the talking. So.
Okay. So it would be probably Actually, I think probably like I would accept persuasion, intelligence, or dexterity.
Because if I'm just performing, would it be possibly sleight of hand that I'm also kind of showcasing these ninja skills?
Probably not, because these guys are like basic farmers, and we're preparing for like open combat.
Gotcha.
You know
All
what
right.
I mean? If you had time to properly establish your actual ninja school, then of course, right? Like
fair. So you said persuasion, intelligence, or
dex. The reason being that a smart teacher is a good teacher, so somebody who's like very proficient in like fighting skills was kind of my reasoning. And then
right.
you can just talk people into doing better, right?
Gotcha. Maybe I'll do dexterity then.
16, also very good. All right. If this is where we want to make it a cut for tonight, guys, I'll give you guys the results of these rolls at the start of next time, as Nobufroga joins the townsfolk, as many of them take the north path to the north path to the forest to chop trees, dig ditches, and begin preparations. In the middle of the square, you see a small phalanx, couple columns of farmers bearing pitchforks and hastily made spears, being drilled by the ever vivacious and loud Flyjimoto, and the quiet and kind of cowardly but very skilled and insightful Tongueke, while at the other end setting up barricades with the wagons and marking areas for traps in the village itself is our old pal Nobufroga, or Noshitoada, excuse me. And we're gonna just let that image be our last scene, our montage.
That's like our fade to black montage.
Yeah, totally.
Next time on Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Thank you guys for playing, as always. It's great to hear from you guys. Thanks everybody for listening and watching all the way through. I love you guys so much. If you want to see more content, please comment and like, and just let us know what the hell you want to see, because I'm always open for suggestions. What'd you guys think? Fun?
Fun.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Maybe I'll cast a spell next time.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
this
a lot
was
of undead.
this was all of our heavy RP setup, and I was really enjoying it. So a little bit of tech issues aside, I'm super pumped. So thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready for undead killing bro time, just like how Tony
Oh,
Stark
yeah.
and Doctor Strange had mustache bros.
Nice.
I can't wait for fucking these little goddamn.
Oh,
What are
I'm
they?
waiting.
Tadpole ninjas.
The
The
pocket
Tadpole ninja
tadpole.
cult.
We're gonna children of the corn, these necromancers.
I'm really excited for the next fight. It's gonna be a really cool battle till the end.
I love that you just went straight for like I'm gonna teach the young tadpoles to become ninjas. While I have this soggy head hanging from my neck.
Corn is
First
placed.
move, teach children to murder.
No, I'm ready to see how this MLM will actually work compared to the other ones.
This sorry, beg your pardon?
How this pyramid scheme will actually work.
MLM, pyramid scheme, multi-level management.
Yeah, nice. Maybe that's like Tongueke's epilogue. Like if we win and survive, right?
Oh no, he's a
Tongueke
Karen.
goes on to found this.
We make a commercial for him.
Yeah.
Tongueke's school for children who can't ninja good.
Want to do other things good too.
You've heard of
Here's how
Hogwarts.
you can get to the top level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're signing out, guys.
Me too.
Talk to you
Have a
guys
good
tomorrow.
one.
All right.
Bye bye.
We're gonna
Ayo.
lizards. The
Lizards.
lizards.
Lizards.